Welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is Narayan Rao Kovur. In this video, we will understand demand function in theory of demand. Demand function. What is demand function and what are the determinants? What is the dependent variable and what are the independent variables and what is the symbolic statement, which determinant is important, which determinants are not so important. We will discuss one by one. First of all, demand function. Demand function. Demand for a good or service is influenced by several factors referred to as determinants of demand. Demand function means demand for a good or service is influenced by several factors referred to as determinants of demand. There are so many factors which influence the demand for a commodity. Those are called determinants of demand. Right. So what is a function? What is function? Function is a symbolic statement of relationship between dependent variable and independent variables. Function is a symbolic statement of relationship between dependent variable and independent variables. That is called function. Demand function means demand function is the functional relationship between demand for a good and its determinants of demand for a good. Demand function is a functional relationship between demand for a good and its determinants. This is called demand function. డిమాండ్ నిర్ణయించే అంశాలకు ఉన్నటువంటి ఫంక్షనల్ రిలేషన్షిప్ని డిమాండ్ ఫంక్షన్ అంటారు. రైట్. సో ఇట్ కెన్ బి expressed in mathematically. Demand function is equal to qx is equal to f of px comma y comma pr comma t comma o. This is called demand function. This is called demand function. Qx is equal to f of px comma y comma pr comma t comma o. So where qx is equal to quantity demand of x commodity, f is equal to functional relationship, px is equal to price of x commodity, y is equal to money income of the consumer, pr is equal to prices of related commodities, t is equal to taste and preference of the consumer, o is equal to other factors. So qx is dependent variable and px, y, pr, t, o are independent variables. The other name of independent variables are explanatory variables. Explanatory variables. So qx is dependent variable and the remaining all independent variables or explanatory variables అని చెప్పచ్చు. If a change in explanatory variables automatically changes in dependent variable also. If any change in any one of the determinants leads to change in the dependent variable also. Qx is dependent variable, so whereas remaining are independent variables. Next, in demand function, dependent variable written on the left side. In demand function, dependent variable written on the left side. What is dependent variable? Qx. So qx is on left side, left hand side, whereas independent variables are explanatory variables. independent variables or explanatory variables written on the right side. So here all written on the right side. Next, here there is a one assumption, one of the important assumption, that is called ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus means other things being equal. Other things being equal. Other things remains constant. Other things remains constant. Other things remains unchanged. That is called ceteris paribus. అంటే మనం ఏ డిటర్మినెంట్ అయితే గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుతున్నామో మిగతా డిటర్మినెంట్స్ అన్నీ కూడా కాన్స్టెంట్గా ఉండాలి. నెక్స్ట్, so all the determinants are not equally important. There are so many determinants which influence the demand for a commodity. All the determinants are not equally important. Some of the important determinants are there, some other not so important determinants. For example, so in that determinants, some can be easily measured or quantified. Some can be easily measured or quantified. Price of the commodity, so can easily measured in terms of money. Prices of related commodities can be measured in terms of money. Income of the consumer, సో వీటిని మనం ఈజీగా మెజర్ చేయవచ్చు. సమ్ కెన్ బి ఈజీలీ మెజర్డ్ ఆర్ క్వాంటిఫైడ్, బట్ నాట్ ఆల్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, taste and preference of the consumer. How we can measure the taste and preference of the consumer? Utility, how we can measure? Satisfaction, how we can measure? Because these are all psychological concept, subjective concept, మనసుకు సంబంధించినవి. We can't measure. So some can be easily measured or quantified, but not all. For example, price. And some factors are important, some factors are not so important. For example, price. Price is the foremost important to determine the demand for a commodity. It is the first factor to determine demand for a commodity. Whereas wealth, education, etc., not so important, but not so that much important. Some other factors. So this is something details of demand function. So thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe and comment.